I like to boast cause I'm the host with the most. Back a few honeys and I'm
Hey everybody out there, welcome to the Space Coast. From the Media Hub on riotradio.ca, I'm your host with the most, Jalon Williams, your spaced out, way out groove conductor, bringing you along some nice smooth grooves and melodies and some nice thoughtful thoughts for your minds. Speaking of minds, that song you just heard right now is A Bomb by the Bucketheads, or also known as These Thoughts Fall Into My Mind. The mind's a powerful tool. I'm pretty sure you've heard that 1,000 times before, and you're probably aware of that. Of all the things your mind is doing at once, you're not even really cognitively doing. It's running your organs for you, pumping blood, this and that. And the things that you do focus on, like maybe walking and chewing gum at the same time, your mind's handling more than you can imagine all at once. So with all this, the mind is a tool, definitely. And like all tools, there are definitely some tips and tricks you can use to, enhance and, basically make that tool sharper and better for the future. So today I'm going to talk about the mind and some various aspects you can use for some cheat codes to really help improve your mind processes and mindsets. I'm going to start off with a positive mindset and how that can help you change your life and what you're looking to do. Then I'm going to talk about memories, how they can help you and hinder you. And finally, I'll be taking a stop talking about your future and how you can basically get your future ready today. So stepping first on your mindset and how important it is and how key and inquisitive it is, the mind plays an important role in how you adapt to life. Your mindset and what you do with it and how you approach any of your problems really comes into play. If a problem comes up on your horizon and you start complaining, going, geez, I don't need this, or I have so many things going on already, this too, this and that, doesn't really help you out. And it kind of hinders you in the beginning before you even get started on something. A positive mindset is key to life. You kind of have to be positive in what you do and what comes your way because that's the only way you can really adapt for what's coming next. I got two situations for you. Say you got a project in your class and you do not know what it has to do with anything. You don't understand, why is this a part of the curriculum? I'm not learning anything to do with this. What's this for? This is too easy. A negative person will come in with these thoughts. There's no reason to do this project. I'm going to give it my full attention. You're writing it off then and there. You're not going to do your best since you don't care about it. A person with a more positive mindset will approach it differently. They'll see this as a problem that they can solve easily. Okay, this has nothing to do with what I'm learning in my curriculum. There might be something that I'm not exploring deeply. I'm not really factoring it into it that I could probably learn from this. Maybe I can approach it from a different facet and see a skill that probably wouldn't come naturally in that field, but can probably help me out elsewhere. Maybe if you're doing something with science and you have to do a team project on something, you can adapt some leadership skills from it. Maybe if you are a business magnate and they want you to write a large proposal, well, you can improve your writing skills. And writing skills always come, they're important for just about anything you do in life. At the end of the day, having a positive mindset helps you out a ton. Another situation I can give you in which a negative mindset kind of is not the best is, say you get hired for a job that, you've never worked in an industry before. They hired you because they believe in you. You can do a good job there, but you go in there and you're like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know where they took me. I'm going to get fired in 2 days. I don't even know where to start from this. A person with a more positive mindset will look at this and say, well, there's a reason why they hired me. They probably believed in me. And if they believe in me, then I got to believe in myself. Next, you're getting paid to learn, basically. So do with that what you will. Essentially, this is a time to make mistakes and time to adapt and get more experience in a new field, new energy, new ways to try things. But having a positive mindset helps you out in plenty of ways, but it also builds up confidence. And confidence is key, especially in any field that you go into. If you're not confident in your work, people can kind of tell. And getting confidence is rather important. The only person that can sell your ideas is you. And if you aren't confident enough to do that, no one else is going to do it for you. If they are going to do it for you, they're just going to steal your idea and then get credit for themselves. And you don't want that at all. So confidence is key. You got to build up your confidence. You got to be brave. You got to be smart. And you got to believe that you can handle it. Now, there's different ways you can build up confidence. You got to take pride in your work. Look at some of your project works and see what you've done well and kind of admonish that. You can be inspired by somebody and what they've done and how they approach their work. However, inspiration is good, but it can also hinder you in a lot of ways. If You take too much inspiration, you start comparing yourself to other people. And comparison is the killer of confidence. You don't want to compare yourself too much to somebody else. You don't know where they come from, how they got there, what they did to even get to this point in their life, what struggles they've been through. We are all different people. And in the age of social media, you'll see a lot of people's triumphs and their highlights. You won't see what they've sacrificed to get there. So you can't really compare yourself to somebody in your same field as you, or somebody you know doing something else, because you are not the same person. They got their own skills, you have your own. The most important thing you gotta do is find out what makes you tick. What are your skills? What can you excel at in your skill set? And what can you do to be the best you as possible? Speaking of comparisons, our next song touches on that well. We'll be touching on memories after the break. Don't forget to follow us at DCSA Media Hub. So up next, we got What Do I Get by the Buzzcocks on riotradio.ca. And welcome back to the Space Coast. You're rocking with Jelon Williams, live from the Media Hub at Riot Radio. Do you know where you're coming from? Memories are an important thing. They're inside of all of us, and they can be used to inspire us and get us going. I'm pretty sure we all have some memory of somebody who's told us that we can do something or we excel at something in particular. And that may have inspired you to get started in that one particular field. If you had a science teacher who told you as a kid, hey, you're probably a great chemist, well, you want to keep that in mind and use that to inspire you. Or maybe somebody you know personally, like a family member, had said something or helped you along the way to keep you going and keep you moving. Memories are important space for us, especially in a time where stuff gets harder and life continues to seem like it's going a bit downhill. Our memories can be an important standing stone that we can rely on. If not for inspiration, we can also use memories as a comfort space of sorts. Maybe you want to remember a time that you had, you're having a lot of fun, and a good memory that keeps you safe and secure. Maybe like a visit to an amusement park with family and friends, or a nice little family dinner in the cold winter. You snuggled up by a fire with some hot cocoa. It could be a useful memory to keep when, it's rainy and gloomy outside. Memories are an important thing. We can use them for our benefits, to help us feel a lot better about ourselves, to keep us going in times where we need them. However, it's a two-way street, a double-edged sword even. Memories, as great as they can be, can also hinder us in a way. And I say this because, from all the benefits we can get from it, there are a lot of harmful side effects. If we only stay in our memories, we won't really see ourselves grow to the future. I mean, if you're only stuck from what you've done or what you haven't done, you'll never really focus on what you can do in the now. I know this happens to me a lot personally. I'll start thinking of, okay, I should have held that door open for that person, or, this project, I wish I had said this, or I should have raised my hand here. And I'll get trapped in that thought, in that process of thinking sometimes. And I realize now that it didn't really do anything for me. Because when I thought this way, then I keep thinking of all the things I didn't do, all the things I should have done, all the things I could have done, but not all the things I can do. The thing with the past is it's the past. It's happened already. It's concrete. It's there, and it's meant to be used as a guide for the future. We're supposed to keep it in mind so what we could have done beforehand, we can use for today. Maybe if you see somebody and their shoelace is untied, you saw somebody with their shoelace untied beforehand, and they tripped over themselves, you'll remind them. Maybe if you didn't hold the door for somebody 2 days ago and you felt really bad about it, you'll do it today. Memories are meant to be used as a sort of motivation to help us propel to the future. And if you stay in your memories and only stay in your reflection of all the good times and all the beneficial things you've seen in your past and how it's not like it is today, it won't really make that effort to improve now. I find that a lot of people stuck in their memories always want things to return to how they used to be. But unless you have perfect photographic memory and you know the exact place everything was, nothing will ever be what it used to be. In fact, our memories are basically just condensed thoughts. Whenever you remember something, you're only remembering what you remembered last time you remembered it. So if you remember your 12th birthday party, in actuality, you're remembering the last time you thought about your 12th birthday party. And before that, you remember the time you thought about before then, and before then, and before then, and before then, before you actually reach your actual 12th birthday party, in which you remember all the good things, but the fact that there are some bad things alongside it too. The thing about our memories is that we only condense them to one sort of category, the good or the bad. This was a good memory because, hey, I got ice cream for free. This was a bad memory because everybody saw like me trip on stage when I tried to get my graduation diploma. However, you don't remember that, hey, you graduated, you got your diploma there. Or on the day you got the free ice cream, something you saw like a horrible car crash or something that you repressed from your memories. At the end of the day, we kind of concise them down to what our basis emotion that we want to get from it. So your memories are never exactly what you want them to be. They're never exactly what you say they are to you. You may think it's a good memory, but I mean, at the same time, some things may have happened that weren't as beneficial. So when you stay stuck in the past, you're living an idealized version of your life. When in actuality, we all know life is not so ideal. It's never like that. There's always some ups and downs. Nothing is as black and white as, hey, this is good, this is bad. So what I say to you is your memories are important. Live in them, stay with them, keep them as inspiration, but don't stay there. Reflection is key, it's important, but when you stay stuck in reflection, you'll never improve for the future. The past can't be changed, but we can always change the future. So you must work towards that. Use everything you've learned, everything you've accumulated in your memory to change your future. I feel that a lot of people don't want to work towards the future. It's a scary thing. It's never hashed out. It's never what you expect it to be. But the thing is, your past is what it is because of your present. Your present is the most important thing you have right now. Every choice you make, everything you do changes your future and defines your past. If you only live in the past, well, you're not going to make much of a future. I feel we've walked down memory lane for long enough now at this point, but it's time for another break. We'll be closing out the talk with our hopes for the future and how we can improve and walk towards them. Don't forget to swing us a follow at DCSA Media Hub. And if you like the show personally, you can give Swing a follow on Twitter or Instagram at space__coast. That's 2 underscores. I can't get the first one for free, unfortunately. Now, we're listening to Pearl Blue Soul by Volance right here on riotradio.ca. Welcome back to the Space Coast. Hosted at the Media Hub at DC Radio and riotradio.ca. Well, hosted on the Media Hub at riotradio.ca. I'm Jalon, your host with the most. And we're back discussing the powers of the mind and its powers of shaping your future. So, as our last discussion, we talked about the past and our memories and how they can trap us. However, we need to focus on the other elephant in the room, and that's our future. Our future is important, and the best thing about our future is we can work on it today. And I do mean today. When I talk about the future, or when people think about the future, they think of something long and far ahead, in the distance. It's not here yet, I don't have to worry about it. I don't see it coming for a while, it's not my worry. But I want to let you know that if you start working on your future today, you can make it into whatever you want it to be. So, what do I mean by that? What I mean is, have your goal. You know what your dream is in your head. Say you want to be the best guitar player of all time. Well, how do you go about doing that? Obviously, you want to practice guitar. So, if you make a schedule to practice guitar for 15 minutes every single day, you start day 1, you play some guitar, you maybe don't know the notes too well. Week 2, you get used to it, you get used to the finger patterns, you start knowing the notes by heart. Then you go to a month where you start learning your first song. You go to 3 months, you know 4 songs. 5 years down the line, you're doing some guitar playing for some clients. Maybe 10 to 15 years, you might see yourself on stage. If you want to start your own business, well, you start learning what you need to get started. You start figuring out what kind of business you want to get into. You write down some ideas, you flesh out those ideas. In 2 weeks, you start getting the products or supplies that you need. In a month, you start working on the first sort of designs of those drafts. In 2 months, you might have your first clients, you sell out your designs. 4 months, you might have enough clients to get a steady revenue. In a year or 2, maybe you have enough clients and steady revenue enough to get your own place for that business. It's all about consistency and all about working. If you want to get yourself a car, you want to find out a way how you can start saving. Where can you cut corners? Maybe instead of buying Tim Hortons every single day, you wake up 15 minutes earlier to start brewing some coffee. Then in 2 weeks when you get paid, you start seeing you have a little bit more change left over. You put that away as well. Then in a month or two, you start realizing that you're close enough to your goal that you don't even have to start saving that Tim Hortons coffee, but you still will, because that is the routine and a pattern you developed. What I'm trying to say is you've got to build in the consistency to get to the results. And the only way you're going to reach what you're trying to do is putting that consistency in. Now, I have a favorite adage. One of my favorite adages of all time is if you're an alcoholic and you ask an engineer, hey, how do I stop drinking? They're going to tell you, just don't do it. Now, I can tell you all I want. I can hammer into your head that consistency, do it every day. But as human beings, it is not possible for us to retain a routine all the time. Maybe if you want to practice guitar, it's not the right day because like your parents going to sleep early and you can't do it. Maybe if you want to save money, you really want to, but rent's coming out and you got phone bills and this and that. You want to start your own business, but it's getting real peak times at work and you don't have time to work on your own self. At the end of the day, I understand that you can't do it every single day. It's understandable that every single day you can't do the same things you want to do. We don't get that choice sometimes in life. It's just how life is. It unfortunately rolls and we have to roll along with it. Roll with the punches even. However, it's important to build that consistency up. It's a necessity. Consistency is key. I'm pretty sure you've probably heard that 1,000 times, but it's important. And the only way you're going to get consistent is to put in the work. If you don't feel like you can, then you might not be ready. But if you don't feel like you're not ready, then how can you reach that dream? If you have a dream for the future and you want to build towards something for the future, you have to get started on it as soon as possible. You have to believe that you can get the work done. And if you know you can't have that consistent schedule that you want, then you must build upon it. Find ways, find time in between certain things. It may mean skipping out on some lunch breaks with friends. It may mean no video games tonight, but if you're working towards what you want to build right now and what you want to build for the future, the only way you're ever going to get there is to have some results. Get time in, put that practice in, put that work in. It needs to be done because it's the only way it's going to happen. If you ask somebody who's working their dream job or high up in their dream career how they got there, they're not going to tell you they sat around all day and sat on the couch eating chips. They're going to tell you they put the work in. Like I said before, comparison, if you don't want a compare too much, it's a killer of confidence. But you must know that you got to use people as inspiration, but not kind of put yourself in their shoes. Use it to guide you and to get you going on that path that you want to go down. The future is there. It may seem far off, but it's closer than you think. And with every single second we spend on this earth, we're getting closer to where we want to be, whether we want to or not. And it's up to you to make that choice, put that effort in, put those steps in to actually get to that point. Or to stop and flounder and not do what you want to do. You want to stop and flounder and not improve. That's not what we want. You want to keep going to build upon what you need to do. You gotta be available and ready to do anything. If you have opportunities that knock on your door, say yes. Yes is the best answer you can give. The only way you can improve and try and get somewhere is by trying new things. If you have an opportunity and you think that you are not there or ready enough to do it, I implore you to say yes, to give it a shot at least. Because by giving it a shot, you ready yourself for something new. If you feel like you may fail, I got some news for you. Failure is an important part of life. Everybody fails every day. We all fail something. If you think of how many jobs you have to apply to get your current job, you had to give your submission somewhere else, your resume here, your resume there. You may not get all the jobs. If you are an artist for a chance, you may not find that opportunity for months down the line, but that's just how it is. We have to fail to succeed. And if we don't fail, we won't learn. And if we're too afraid to fail, we won't improve at all. We'll stagnate. And stagnation is not what you want. Because if you stagnate, you're too afraid to take any chances. If you're too afraid to take any chances, you're too afraid to build up confidence. If you're too afraid to build up confidence, you won't have motivation. and you won't improve or move anywhere at all. The wheels don't turn. You get stuck in the mud. You start going through a rut every single day, not improving, not doing nothing, and that's not what you want. You'll be living in the past. And as I told you before, we want to look towards a future because that's what we can build upon. You want to tackle as much as you can to be prepared for tomorrow. Be sure you can do it. Be sure you're ready. Take on as much as you can at once. It's important. It's imperative. It may seem stressful, but no pain, no gain. There's no way you're going to improve if you don't get out your comfort zone. That comfort zone's there to keep you safe. Like I told you before with memories. You stay in your memories and they keep you happy in a time where things aren't so good, but if you stay there, you won't move anywhere. You'll stay stuck. That comfort zone is inviting, but it's comforting for a reason because you don't face any challenges. And without any challenges, you won't grow, you won't improve, and you won't see any changes at all. And that's not what we need as human beings. We need challenges. If we don't have challenges, we don't move, we don't change, we don't get anything done. Set yourself up for success. And the only way you can do that is by getting some challenges, getting some help, getting some motivation, seeking some inspiration, asking some people what they've done, how they've got there, taking notes and applying it for our own life. We all work in our own ways. We all have our own skills. So you got to find out how people got to where they got and do it and find a way that works for yourself. So, with that, we've coasted to the edge of this broadcast, but I hope you can cruise with me again on the same time next week. Don't forget to give us a follow at DCSA Media Hub, and give me a follow on Twitter or Instagram if you're interested at space__coast. 2 underscores, couldn't get the first one. For now, playing us out today, we have -8 with Airborne, only on riotradio.ca.
Done.